San Juan Regional Medical Center is your community hospital, committed to making life better for the communities we are privileged to serve. In fact, better is our mission, improving lives through personalized health and care. What matters most to our patients matters most to us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services so you can get the quality care you need right here at home. San Juan Regional Medical Center, celebrating life better here since 1910. KSJE is supported by the Farmington Civic Center, bringing a full slate of entertainment to Farmington and San Juan County. Country music stars Lone Star, Thursday, June 9th at 7:30 p.m. The Farmington Civic Center, 200 West Arrington in downtown Farmington. Find out more online at fmtn.org/shows or 505-599-1148. 11 minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday morning, the last day of May 2022. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin, and thanks for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM, of course, here in San Juan County, New Mexico, streaming everywhere else on the planet at KSJE.com. And we welcome our viewers who are watching this visual radio program. The video is streaming out live this morning to the KSJE Facebook page, our YouTube channel, and our Twitter account. So we're glad that you are with us this morning, everybody, because coming up here in the next few moments, my guest this morning from the Farmington Police Department talking about a big event that's coming up at Lake Farmington in the next couple of weeks. We'll give you the details about that, some other summer safety tips, and more coming up this morning in the next few moments right here on KSJE. Then later on this hour, we'll check in with Amber Francisco out at the Farmington Regional Animal Shelter. She'll be introducing us to some of the pets available for adoption this week, including Addie, the good-looking dog you see on the screen right there. So join us for that coming up later on this hour at 8:50 a.m. on KSJE. Next hour, of course, it's our classical music program, Roving with the Arts. This morning, Mick Hess is featuring music from Valentin Silvestrov. He is a Ukrainian composer. You'll hear some of his music coming up today. Next hour after the news at 9:06 on KSJE. Don't forget, we invite you to connect with us on our Instagram page in addition to Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. And if you're a podcast person, you can subscribe for free to KSJE Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, places like Spotify and iTunes and iHeartRadio and Google Podcasts and Pandora and much, much more. Search for KSJE and subscribe and take us with you on some of your trips this summer. Let's talk about the weather forecast, shall we? Outside our studios here at San Juan College, it is currently sunny and 52 degrees at the moment. Winds are light, but they're not expected to be light all day. The winds will pick up again this afternoon. We could see gusts up to 25 to 30 miles per hour with mostly sunny skies and a high of 76 in Farmington today. 39 and clear overnight, then tomorrow sunny and warmer with a high of 81 on Wednesday. Mid-80s on Thursday and Friday. Lower to mid-80s for the weekend with partly sunny skies and overnight lows getting a bit warmer too into the lower 50s. Well, let me introduce my guest who is here with me this morning representing the Farmington Police Department. Sergeant Jonathan Jensen is here from FPD. Mr. Jensen, good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Thanks for coming in. You are here to talk a little bit about a big event, as I mentioned, that's coming up that the police department has been planning. And this is the Day at the Lake, right?
Correct.
Very exciting, right? This is the first time you've done something like this.
It is. So we've been thinking about, I think everybody's over COVID. It's been a couple of years and lockdowns, and so this year when we can start doing some stuff, we wanted to do something, give back to the community. We have an awesome community here that supports law enforcement quite a bit, so we wanted to do an event and have some fun with it.
There you go, and you came up with Day at the Lake.
Yep.
Okay. Now, whose idea was this? Is there anyone that we can pin this on, or was it a committee that came up with this?
So we had a committee, but I believe it was one of our park rangers who came up with the idea of doing something out at Farmington Lake. And
okay.
We've just been meeting regularly, coming up with different ideas and of activities to do, and it's kind of evolved into what we've got now.
There you go. So June 11th.
Yep, 11 to 3 out at Farmington Lake. and we're going to have all kinds of different activities out there.
Yeah, you got a lot of stuff planned, and I know the other part of this too is this is kind of a cooperative effort, because I know you've been working with the city's Parks and Recreation Department, so they're going to waive the entry fees for those hours during that day on Saturday, on the 11th, right?
Yep. So during about 10:30 to 3 o'clock, they're going to waive those fees. Hopefully we'll draw more people out there.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about Farmington Parks and Rec, we'd like to offer a huge thanks to them. I think sometimes we forget about all the work that goes into some of these events, and that goes for Riverfest.
I was going to say, we just got through with Riverfest, right? That's a gigantic event for Parks and Rec.
Connie Mack, that's coming up this summer. And so I know that those people are very busy keeping the parks clean and trash and all the little things that we don't think about. And same with this Day at the Lake. They're going to be doing a lot to help us out. And so we're grateful for their support for this event.
Very true. Well, I think it's great. And if folks have not been out to Farmington Lake, maybe to see some of the recent improvements because of COVID or whatever else, this is a great opportunity. Again, with those fees being waived during that time, 11 to 3, you can go out and check it out and just see what everyone's been talking about with the beach area and some of the other watercraft that are available on the lake. And so some of the events you've got planned, right? You've got plans to do some canoe tours, I see on the screen, right?
Canoe tours, and so they'll go out and there'll be a couple stops along the tour that the person leading the tour will talk about the history of the lake and some fun facts while they're doing it. We're going to have a water gun course for some of the younger kids. We've got lots of different kinds of water guns, and we do have eye protection goggles. So, we're thinking safety. We don't want anybody getting shot in the eye with any of the water guns.
Right, okay.
There's going to be a bike safety course, so you can bring out your own bicycle and go through a little bike safety course while you're out there.
Right.
A few other things that's not on that flyer that we're going to have. We're going to have a bounce house for younger kids. We're going to have a dunk tank with various people taking turns, getting the opportunity to be dunked.
Right.
So
and when you say various people, do we have any names? Can we name names this morning?
I don't think anything's confirmed. As much as I'd love to name some names right now, I might get more trouble than than it's worth. But
we have it on good authority that both the police chief and the fire chief have been asked to appear at the dunk tank.
Their names have been submitted, yes.
Right?
So
okay.
We'll see what
kind of pressure maybe fans can put on Chief Hebby and Chief Starrett, right? To
hit those comments, whatever they got to do.
I think so, But there'll be representatives, I guess, of each department is still the plan, right?
Yes.
For the dunk tank. Yep. And others, too. We shouldn't leave out other folks from the community, perhaps, or the city.
Yeah.
Who could show up. You never know. You never know who you'll be able to get a chance to dunk. But
there might even be an open hour where, hey, maybe the kids can dunk their parents. Or vice versa.
Right. So depending on how the day's going.
Yeah, so everybody come with your swimsuit. Who knows what's going to happen?
That's right. Okay. Very good. Dunk tank is very important. That'll be out there. So what else you got planned?
Those are the main ones. We're going to be grilling hot dogs and giving away hot dogs. I think we've got plans for 1,000 of them. So once they're gone, they're gone. But simple lunch will be provided out there.
Great.
We're trying to get some music out there, and so it'll just be a good time to come out, see the lake. If you haven't been out there in a while, I mean, it's Parks and Recs and all those people have been doing a lot of good changes out there, and it's a beautiful lake, great asset to the city. So
yeah, it's really been a great thing, I think, since it's been opened up for these recreational opportunities in the last few years. And so I think folks are kind of pleasantly surprised when they get out there to see how much of an asset it is so close to the city and just right nearby. And so if you've not been out to Farmington Lake, again, it is on 516 between Farmington and Aztec. Probably can't miss it if you drive that way, but in case you haven't been out there, that's where it is.
East side of Farmington, kind of out by the farmers market.
Yeah,
out there.
Exactly. The flea market.
Or flea market, yes.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. So out that way. But should be a great day on the lake. There is a lot of water in it, I understand. So that's a good thing this year.
Yeah.
And we're excited about that. And to learn a bit about the history of the lake, again, one of those stories about how the planners of Farmington, decided to, spend the money to build that dam to make the lake to provide the city with a source of water in drought years, and we've had to rely on that, I think, more recently than not over the last few years. So been a nice thing to be able to have to provide the city with drinking water, and now this recreational opportunity. So that's an important thing.
Absolutely.
That makes me think about other types of safety messages, water safety. We just had Riverfest, of course, and I could see from the rafting pictures, the river was moving pretty good this time of year. And that can be an issue sometimes, right? When it gets really hot and folks want to go and maybe swim in the river, take a dip, but you have to be careful.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it seems like every summer we get 1 or 2 calls throughout the year of people who've fallen in the river, or, we have different rescue events. And
right.
So, yeah, we remind people, stay away from the water. Be cognizant of where you're at and what the water levels are at, how high they are. Especially alcohol and water doesn't mix too well, so.
True, very true.
Things to consider.
But there are safety things that folks can do if they do want to take a dip in the river or something, just to be careful, right? Obviously, make sure parents are around, some responsible adults are nearby.
Don't leave your kids unattended. Be cognizant of how fast that water is moving. If you're going to go down by that, keep it in shallow areas and where there's not a current. Farmington Lake has if you really want to go to the water, Farmington Lake is a great spot. It's got the beach there.
Right, true.
If you stay by that beach area, there's no undercurrents or anything there. So that's probably the best way if you want to go enjoy the water. We can take boats out on the water now at Farmington Lake. Make sure you get the inspection when you take your boat out there.
Yes.
When you enter, and
right.
you abide by those rules. But, yeah, there's even a camping area out there at the lake now.
Right.
So
nice place to go.
Absolutely.
True. And those rivers, I know, can be deceiving, right? When you see they look really nice, cool, calm, but you can get in there and those currents can be pretty strong if you're not ready for them.
Yeah, that's what makes it so tough.
Right. Exactly. Other tips for the summer? I mean, what else should we be keeping track of now that schools are out and the kids are out and running around probably more often than they were just a couple of weeks ago? So things are a little bit different in the neighborhoods now these days.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the big thing right now is traffic. As weather's getting nicer and people are, like you said, the kids are out of school and people want to start doing some more things, we're going to have more people out. People are out exercising, so we're going to have more people on bicycles, people out running, or even just going for walks. We're just going to see more traffic than we have been, especially in previous summers. And so, that's a big topic right now is traffic safety. I think because of COVID, we got used to not a lot of cars on the road, and so maybe it was easier to speed different places or to get around, and now we're fighting traffic. It's taking us longer to get places. Maybe we didn't plan ahead of time how long it was going to take. So we just want to remind people, please slow down, make sure that you plan ahead accordingly. The big thing, don't drink and drive. That is such a hard thing to deal with when you go to a scene of a crash and it's because of a drunk driver. Because that, in my opinion, is something that's 100% avoidable and preventable. And so I'm not saying don't drink, by all means, but just drink responsibly. Plan ahead, make sure you got rides, or especially today's day and age, you can get Ubers, and there's options out there.
Definitely.
You don't have to drink and drive.
Very true. Any kind of impaired driving, I would say, probably too now, right?
Yeah.
With marijuana, we now have legalized recreational use in our state, so I think everybody should be aware of those things as well, right, before they get behind the wheel of a car.
And that's a great point. I think people, as soon as they see that something's legalized, they don't realize smoking marijuana may be legal, but smoking it and driving is not legal. Alcohol is legal to drink, but it's not legal to drink and drive because it is impairing. Marijuana is impairing. Even if you don't realize it or you don't feel those effects, it is impairing.
Right.
And so, marijuana.
Same rules apply, I would say, right? If you're impaired, you're impaired.
Yeah.
And cause a crash, that's not
the
good.
best practices, if you're going to drink, no matter how much, just don't drive. Play it safe. If you're going to smoke marijuana, play it safe. Just don't drive, because the worst time for us to determine whether or not we're impaired is when we're impaired. After we've been drinking or smoking, that's not the time to try to figure out if we're impaired or not, because you're going to feel like $1 million probably, and
Right.
Like you're just fine.
Right.
And that's probably not the best time for you to make those decisions, whether or not you should be doing those.
Very true. Very true. And I know, again, with COVID kind of on its way out, we hope, safely. And, even with gas prices where they are, we're seeing crowds. Riverfest, I think, was pretty crowded this weekend. Nice to see people out enjoying the parks again, enjoying the rivers. We should expect, I think, tourists to come visit our part of the world because we live in a great part of the world. And so all those folks coming in, driving around and maybe not sure where they're going, all those things kind of add to our traffic situation that we have here, in addition to the regular just weekend folks who come in to shop and do all that Farmington has to offer. So there's all that. The city and the population swells by several, I don't know how many thousands of people on the weekends, but you probably do.
It's a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that adds to the city and the kind of the stresses on city resources.
Absolutely.
I would assume when folks do that.
Yeah, and we have it's like you said, we have so many great things that Farmington has to offer. That you got the Glade if you're into four-wheeling and all that stuff. We've got the lake where you can go fishing or go out on the boat or go swimming. So it is a great area that we live in and an awesome community that we have here. So, just be cognizant of that, plan ahead, watch our speeds, don't drink and drive, wear your seatbelt. And especially now that it's getting warm, we got to watch for pedestrians, cyclists, and people out on motorcycles now. Right.
That's very true. And that's another issue, right, that we don't always pay attention to some of the smaller vehicles or motorcycles on the road. Some of the ATVs you mentioned, too, that are street legal, right? We see those on city streets from time to time as they're heading back and forth from the Glade. I know I see them all the time.
Yeah.
And so
you got to look twice. You got to pick, those small bikes can be tough to see. You do a quick glance and you think you're clear, and then you're not. So I think it all comes down to just slowing down and paying attention. Distracted driving too now is becoming more and more of a thing. It seems like we can't go 10 minutes without looking at our phones, unfortunately. And so when you're driving, we need to focus on driving, not on the phone. Those text messages can wait. We need to focus on driving because our vehicles, they're 2,000-pound weapons, more or less.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of momentum, a lot of inertia that comes with 2,000 pounds when we're operating those vehicles, and a lot of damage can be done, and we've seen it, unfortunately. So just a reminder to, when we're driving, let's focus on what the task at hand is.
Right. Another seemingly preventable, avoidable type of a crash, right? When there's so many things available to, block your text messages while you're driving, while your phone's in motion, that kind of a thing. There are apps out there, I think, that can do that and send a message saying that you're driving and that you'll respond when you get to your destination, whatever the case may be. I mean, all these things that we should be doing to avoid some of these other problems that we know are happening, unfortunately, when folks aren't paying attention. So,
absolutely.
There you go. My guest this morning, Farmington Police Sergeant Jonathan Jensen, is here. He is talking with me a little bit about some of the events coming up, including the Day at the Lake that Farmington PD is planning on June 11th. Also, some of the other things going on with the summer season now coming up. You mentioned, of course, Connie Mack, which is will be happening in late July once again, and this is a big community event. There's Parks and Rec getting involved, police department gets involved, the whole city, I think, gets behind Connie Mack to make it a success. But that's all stuff that you guys do as well, right, with the police department?
Yeah, we'll have several officers out there during that event, and it's cool. The whole community rallies around it. We get businesses that are donating different things, whether it be vehicles for the teams.
That's right.
Community members host the different teams. So, yeah, that's another cool community event that's coming up here.
True. Very true. And we're excited, by the way, a little plug for KSJE. We're excited to be the radio station again that will air all of the Connie Mack World Series games from Ricketts Park. So you can hear those here on KSJE. And there are still, I think, sponsorships available. So let us know if you'd like to help us to be able to bring those games to the greater public and the audiences who listen back in those hometowns of those teams that are able to experience those games from at home if they can't travel to Farmington. But it's usually a big influx of fans and people that come in each and every summer now that Connie Mack is back, which we're excited for as well. Day at the Lake, let's talk about that one more time before we run out of time this morning. So again, coming up on June 11th?
June 11th from 11 to 3.
Okay.
Out at Farmington Lake. We're going to be kind of over by the beach area. Pretty close to that is where we'll be stationed.
Okay. Kind of on the north side, I guess, of the lake, how I would describe it.
Yep.
As you come in there.
Again, we'll have the canoe tours. We'll have a water gun course. We'll have a jump house, a dunk tank, bike safety course. So we've got stuff for kids of all ages.
This is free.
To get involved.
Everything's free, right?
Everything's free. The admittance to the lake has been waived, so that's free.
Yeah, that's free.
We're going to be giving out hot dogs, some swag, some different small items, frisbees,
Very good.
And things like that.
I think on Cop Shop, maybe Nicole Brown was talking about the pig keychains. Is that a big collector's item?
We should have some of those.
Okay. There you go. She was very excited about those. I don't know why, but she was. So.
Yeah, every year they're a different color too.
Okay.
I just learned that not too long ago.
Well, there you go. So you can collect different colors.
Different colors for the different years.
Okay.
So
all right.
Come out and get your 2022.
Whatever the color's going to be. I forget what they said.
I think it's orange this year.
Okay. Could be orange.
I think so.
Very good. All right. Bounce house you mentioned. The dunk tank. Can't forget about that.
Oh, yeah.
See somebody, we assume, from the PD and the fire department getting dunked at some point is going to happen. It's going to happen.
It's happening.
Somebody from the departments are going to get dunked.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay. We can commit to that.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Whether or not it's the Chiefs, we don't know. But
we're hoping.
Yeah.
We're hoping.
You'd think they would, right?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of discussion about it. So if we can help them make their decision, I think they should.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. There you go. But that's it. Coming up, June 11th, the day at the lake. It's for the Farmington Police Department. Again, lots of things going on. A free day at the lake, at Farmington Lake. Admission is free. First 1,000 folks get a free hot dog, it sounds like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other stuff that you've got going on, from the canoe tours to the bike safety, water gun, bounce house, dunk tank. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, we're even going to we're trying to get the animal shelter out there with a couple dogs.
Sure.
And see if we can get some dogs.
Some adoptions.
Yeah, maybe the dog that you're going to be talking about later on today might be out there if it's not adopted beforehand.
Right. So, but I'm sure if that one gets adopted, there'll be another one to take his place, unfortunately.
Else, yeah.
So probably plenty to choose from, but that would be great to have the animal shelter out there too. So that sounds great. Well, Sergeant Jensen, thanks for coming in this morning. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you for having me.
And before we go, I think since we both discovered that we're Bills fans, we have to say go Bills.
Absolutely. Go Bills.
There you go.
This year's the year.
This is it, right?
I'm feeling it.
Okay.
Feeling it.
I'm right there with you. Thanks, sir.
All right. Thank you.
You bet. Good to see you. My guest this morning here on KSJE. San Juan Regional Medical Center is your community hospital, committed to making life better for the communities we are privileged to serve. In fact, better is our mission, improving lives through personalized health and care. What matters most to our patients matters most to us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services so you can get the quality care you need right here at home. San Juan Regional Medical Center, celebrating life better here since 1910. KSJE is supported by the Alzheimer's Association, New Mexico Chapter, with a local office in Farmington, providing free services and resources to help those living with dementia and their families, including their 24/7 helpline, 1-800-272-3900. The Alzheimer's Association, New Mexico Chapter, 1-800-272-3900. KSJE is supported by the Alzheimer's Association, New Mexico Chapter, with a local office in Farmington, providing free services and resources to help those living with dementia and their families, including their 24/7 helpline, 1-800-272-3900. The Alzheimer's Association, New Mexico Chapter, 1-800-272-3900.